Hey guys, before we start the video, just a quick personal message. You might have heard what happened in my home country in Lebanon. If you haven't, there was a massive explosion that destroyed basically most of the capital city, and obviously the government's not doing anything about it. So I wanted to let you know that I'll be donating all the money that YouTube pays me for this video to one of these charities here. I haven't chosen which one yet. If you want to help out, and if you do, I would be very thankful. All you have to do really is to watch this video from start to finish, hit the thumbs up and leave a comment with a few words. And when you see ads, don't skip them. You can even click on them, that'll make even more money. But don't skip the ads and watch the video all the way through. Even if you're not interested or you're bored of the video or you want to close it, just leave it in the background, let it finish, and that would be very helpful. So thank you very much if you do that. And if you do that, it's going to make a huge difference because last time I made a video with a similar topic to this one, as you can see here, it made over $1,000 without me doing any of this. So if we can get $1,000 again or even more, that would be insane, and it would be all thanks to you guys. So again, thank you. If you do want to donate, that would be awesome. You don't have to, but if you do, I'll put links in the description below. And thank you so much again if you help out. Now enjoy this video. Back in April of 2017, I sold my first ever Amazon FBA product, and that was back when I was doing arbitrage, which means that I would go to stores like Walmart and Toys R Us, and I'd find products that are cheaper, send them to Amazon, and then resell them and make the profit. But then in October of 2017, I started selling my own private label product. In August of 2018, 10 months after I started that product, I decided to stop selling this product. And as I said in that video right here, I stopped selling it because it wasn't a very good product, but mainly because I wanted to stop selling random products and I wanted to focus on building a brand. I wanted to put more effort on the branding of the product, on creating an outside audience, a website, and all that fun stuff, rather than just selling random products on Amazon. So I did that. In December of 2019, that's when I started my product, which is the brand that I'm selling now. It's been over a year and a half now, and since then, I've sold over $300,000 of that product. Now, obviously, when it comes to branding, the first thing that might come to mind would be to have your own website outside of Amazon, a place where people can go buy from you instead of just buying from your product on Amazon. So that was what I wanted to do with that brand. From the beginning, the plan was to eventually build a Shopify store and slowly move out of selling only on Amazon. It took a while, but eventually in October of 2019, I launched the Shopify store. And as you can see here, we got 2 sales in the first month that we launched it. And between October 2019 and June 2020, the website, the Shopify store, generated me over $2,000 of revenue. And all of that was without any paid advertisements, without Facebook ads, and without Google ads. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about in this video, sharing my story of how I went from only selling on Amazon to launching the Shopify store, and how I got these Shopify sales for free without running any ads. So here's the outline of the video. We're gonna talk about how I did it, why I did it, and then how I did the selling without running any ads. And then finally, I'm gonna share with you where I learned all this stuff about Shopify, because you guys who watch me might know where I've learned about how to sell on Amazon, but all this stuff is new for me, so I wanted to share how I learned and got started with you guys. The next video that I'll be posting is gonna be a Shopify tutorial for Amazon sellers. I'll be showing you exactly how I built my own store from a beginner's point of view. And as you can see from the screenshot right here, somewhere around June, I started running Facebook ads and Google ads, and you can obviously see that we got a lot more sales during that period, and they were profitable. So I'll eventually be sharing my experience with that. So if you want to learn how to build your own store, or if you want to see my experience with running ads, make sure to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell to get notified when I post these videos. So starting with how I did all this stuff. So I recently posted a video called Shopify plus Amazon FBA integration, and I showed you guys a walkthrough of how I linked my Amazon FBA inventory to my Shopify site. And that means that anyone that buys from my Shopify store, I don't send them the products myself, but I send them the products from Amazon, as in I don't do any extra work. So in that video, I showed how the products are stored and fulfilled by Amazon, and how you can set it up from your Shopify store. And then as you can see on the bottom left, the quantity is automatically updated. So if you run out of stock on Amazon, you'll run out of stock on your Shopify store, and that's perfect because you don't have to worry about that. The only thing that you would have to do manually with this method that I've personally adopted is whenever an order comes in, you'd have to check which shipping method they chose. So in this case, they chose standard shipping, and then you'd have to choose standard shipping out of the options and then fulfill items. And then it's very easy because Shopify sends the information to Amazon and Amazon fulfills to the customer. Obviously, you'd have to first check how much it's going to cost to fulfill with Amazon. You can either make the customer pay for that or not, But again, I showed all this stuff in that other video. I can link in the description below, or wait till the end of the video, I'll tell you how to find it. The only problem is this is only going to work with local shipping. So Amazon is not going to ship the product if it's outside of the US, assuming that you're selling in the USA. So your Shopify store can only sell in the US if you're only doing this method right here. Now that we talked about how I linked Shopify to Amazon and how this whole thing works, let's talk about why I personally decided to start the Shopify store. So these are all the reasons that I personally love Shopify compared to Amazon. And first of all, it's because you get higher profit margins. You have more room to make money. And let me quickly show you why. So if we're comparing Shopify's numbers with Amazon's numbers, let's assume that you're selling the product for $40 on Shopify and $40 on Amazon. The fulfillment fee on Shopify, as I showed you in the beginning and in that other video that you guys should watch, it's around 5.95, but also depending on your product. For this product, I assume that it's around 5.5. It's similar to my product. So with Shopify, it's a bit more expensive to ship it. With Amazon, it's a bit cheaper. But the Shopify fee is around 3.5% plus 30 cents per order. And that is very specific to my case. I think that's because I'm in Canada selling in the US. It might be cheaper for people in the US selling in the US. So definitely check how much it's gonna cost you. So that's only 4% of the price. On Amazon, the referral fee, which is basically the fee that they charge you to be able to sell on Amazon and to refer you their customers, it's usually 15% of the price. So already here, it's much better on the Shopify side. The product landed cost, I assume it's $10, which is 25% of the price. Now finally, before spending any money on marketing, as you can see, you have a margin of 56% on Shopify and 46% on Amazon. That means that on Amazon, you can only spend up to $18 on advertising before you break even. When on Shopify, you can spend more. This right here is tacos, which is the total ACoS, which is something that you're probably familiar with. Let's assume that it's around 15%. And again, that's a total ACoS, which means that your actual ACoS is probably higher than this. It's something like 30%, maybe 25%, 20%. But after spending $6 per unit on ads, you're making 31% profit, which is $12. Let's do the same on Shopify. You're spending $6 on ads, you're making a lot more. You're making 41%. So that's basically why it's more profitable. The second reason is branding. So basically you can do a lot more with Shopify in terms of branding, in terms of customization. And this is a good example here. Look on the left, you can see how on Amazon, it looks like any other Amazon listing, except for, the wording is different and the images are different, but everything else looks exactly the same. But on Shopify or on their own website, even if it's not Shopify, you can put whatever images you want. You can put whatever design you want. You can get a lot more creative and design it in any way that you want to be truer to the branding that you are creating. Next, I really like the ability to contact the customers as much as I want, however I want, whenever I want. If you're selling on Amazon, you know exactly why this is such a problem. In fact, recently I got restricted from initiating emails with buyers, and a lot of people did as well. I'm actually working on a video currently on why this happened, what not to do, what were the issues that caused this, and how to adapt moving forward. So if you want to see that, again, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Similar to the last point, I really like that you get so much customer information and details. Let me show you. So you get the customer's name, you get their email, you get their phone number, you get their exact shipping address, you get where they came from. So they came from Facebook in this case, which page exactly they landed on, when did they visit first. And then you can see how many times they've ordered from you, where they came from the first time, so that's a different customer in this case, and more details like exactly how they paid. So all this to say that you can make a lot of conclusions from this. You can make a lot of decisions in your design of your website according to this, and you have a lot more room to understand what's going on in your business. When on Amazon, you have no idea what's going on. On Amazon, you can only know which keywords your customers bought your product from if they clicked on one of your sponsored ads. But organically, you have no idea where your customers are coming from. Next point is analytics data. So let me show you a bit of what you get on Shopify. You see the total sales, how many sessions, how many customers return, and you see the conversion rate and a lot of other fun stuff that can be really helpful for your business and for making your decisions. You get more control, obviously, with all the previous points that I mentioned. And then finally, I decided to go with Shopify and not other options such as WordPress, because Shopify I found was a lot easier than WordPress. If you know nothing about starting a website, which I didn't, it's very easy to start a Shopify store compared to WordPress. Now, of course, Shopify is not perfect. There's a few downsides to choosing to go the Shopify route. First of all is where and how do I even start, which is probably the reason that I procrastinated so much starting my store. I had no previous experience. I didn't even know what a website should look like. I didn't know where to start. But on Amazon, it's pretty much a template and you just put images here and text there and then boom, you have a listing. On Shopify, it's pretty templatized, but you still have to make decisions on what do I put here? Where do I put what? But obviously it's an easy solution. All you have to do is study a bit how to do this. Look at your competitors and see what they've done, and then just do something similar. The second point is, where are my customers? As in, you're gonna start your Shopify store, you're gonna launch it, but nobody is ever going to know unless if you tell them. So you have to go find people who are interested in your product. First of all, somehow find them, and then second of all, somehow tell them and convince them. When on Amazon, people are browsing on Amazon every day. They have their wallets open, their credit cards are in Amazon already, and they're very ready to buy. With your Shopify store, they've never heard of you, they need to find you, and they need to be convinced. Which brings me to the main point of this video. How did I sell without running any ads? And how did I find my customers or have them find me and get these sales without running any paid ads? And if you haven't guessed it yet, I did that by using Instagram, and more specifically by connecting with a lot of influencers. And when I say influencers, I didn't really do influencer marketing the way that you see it in cases like this. It wasn't really like a model holding the product and saying, please go buy this. And it wasn't like this either, as in I did not do any swipe up ads. I didn't pay any influencers to promote my store directly. But instead, the strategy started really before launching the Shopify store. And the strategy itself made it clear that I should start the Shopify store. And let me explain here. So very early on when I started selling the product on Amazon, before even thinking about Shopify, what I was doing was I sent the product to every micro influencer possible. And micro influencer to me means anyone between 2,000 followers maybe on Instagram, up to 100,000 or even more. But I personally like to focus on, 4,000 to maybe 75 to 80,000 because they're more responsive and they're more willing to work with you. The reason that I did it at first was to get content, and I did not have any expectations. So when I started the Instagram page for our brand, we didn't have any content. We did not really have a budget to go out and have photo shoots or record videos with people. So to me, the obvious solution was to just send this product to influencers who would want to use the product and not expect anything from them. So I just go like, hey, would you want to try this new product that I launched? I'd love to get your opinion on it. And then once I did that, people just posted on their story or on their feed using the product. So obviously I got what I wanted, which is videos and photos of people using the product, and I got to post them on my Instagram page and grow the page without really having to do any extra work. At first, it wasn't very easy to find these influencers and to know what to say to them to convince them to do this, but eventually we started getting good feedback from them. They were happy with the product, they were happy with the brand, and we just started making friends. Eventually, those friends told their friends, and we started getting messages to our brand's Instagram page saying, hey, I'd love to promote your product just like you did with my friend. So then influencers started coming towards us. And I think the reason is it's because the product was actually good. It's actually useful and it's actually a high quality product, and because we had a good connection with the influencers. So like I said, it wasn't easy to find influencers, but eventually I now had figured out a system, and once I did that, I went all in. And I'm recording a video soon on exactly how I find influencers, and I'll be sharing my script on how I do it. It's very simple, it's nothing complicated. So if you want to see that, again, make sure to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell to get notified when I post the videos. So with those influencers, we also did giveaways to grow our page. So something like this photo, tag a friend and follow us. I'm sure you've seen a bunch of those on Instagram. And like I said, we also got content to use on our own page, which also helped grow our page. We made friends and good connections. I really cannot stress this enough. For this to work, you have to make friends with these influencers, especially the smaller influencers, because they're not that business minded yet. They're not that busy yet. You get to talk to them. And if you're anything like me, you'll probably be able to help these influencers with some sort of way for them to grow their page. So if you're giving them advice, of course they're going to help you with your product. And eventually with these connections, we landed the product in the hands of some big influencers, and I'm talking like 3 million followers on Instagram. It was very exciting, and it was a confirmation that, wow, something that I'm doing must be working somehow. Now finally, the most exciting part and the reason that I actually started Shopify was, like I said, I was doing all of this and only selling on Amazon. And while I was doing that, I had a sponsored ad campaign targeting my own brand's keywords. Which means, let's say I'm Anchor and that's my brand name. Then if someone searches for Anchor, I have a campaign targeting Anchor Power Bank or Anchor Charger, and whenever someone searches for my brand name, my products are sponsored up there. And as you may know, if someone clicks on this, I get data from Amazon telling me that, hey, this amount of people clicked on this and this amount of people bought from this. So after doing all the influencer stuff, I noticed that people were now searching for my brand name on Amazon, and I could tell from the sponsored ad, and that's when it clicked. I was like, wait, this is a brand that I started from nothing and no one's ever heard of, but now somehow people are searching for the brand name on Amazon. That means that people now know the brand and probably are searching for it on Google as well. So I should probably answer to that by giving them a Shopify store to buy from instead of Amazon, maybe give them a better experience there. And it wasn't like the brand name went viral or anything. It's just that I was getting consistent data that people are searching for the brand name over and over again, and that was just enough for me to go, it's time for Shopify. So me being me, I procrastinated a bit because I didn't know where to start from, like I mentioned earlier, but then I just built an ugly, simple store. And like I said, I'm doing a tutorial soon, so make sure to subscribe to see that. With my ugly store, I got my first sale from Australia within like the first week. But like I said at the beginning, we don't ship outside of the US, and that's something that I did not know at first. So that was a bit of a headache, but it was also exciting because someone bought from my store that I had just built. But the lesson was, and if you're doing it as well, make sure to only limit your store to the USA. But I quickly fixed it, and that's something that you guys should watch out for. Make sure that you're only shipping to the USA. I kept the ugly store for around 6 months, and during those 6 months, I got all these sales for free, like I said, without running any ads. I slowly upgraded the store, slowly changed the theme, made it better. I watched more videos and courses on how to build a Shopify store, and make sure to stick to the end because I'll share with you where I learned this stuff from. And now I'm just constantly looking for new influencers. I'm constantly commenting, liking, and sharing the current influencers that I work with so that we don't just work with someone and then forget about them, but we stay connected. And I've had a lot of exciting business opportunities come from that. I can maybe talk about that in future videos. And like I said, constantly supporting them. And now the name is out there, like I said, and we get free sales. So the next steps for me and the brand is I want to do more giveaways, and I want to collab with other brands and do giveaways with them. I want to do Facebook ads and Google ads, and in fact, as you can see, after June, I started some Facebook ads, and you can obviously see how the sales increased a lot, and they were profitable. And that's very exciting to me because I did that without knowing what I was doing, and they were profitable. So now I'm like, okay, if I learn a bit more about Facebook ads, I can probably make more money than Amazon, maybe, hopefully. That's honestly the goal. So again, if you want to see me talk about this stuff, I will in the future. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. So finally, where did I learn all this stuff so that you can learn as well? Let me share with you some very good resources that are free, of course. I'm not going to be selling you any courses. The first resource is Mr. Stephen Black. This man is a wizard. I've met him. I've talked to him. He knows all about marketing and he knows about Amazon. So he's combined the two, and he talks about it on his YouTube channel, Unstoppable FBA, on his blog on the right, as you can see. And the best resource out there is his Facebook group, Unstoppable FBA. And he's just a cool guy, as you can see here. Ezra Firestone, if you haven't heard of him, you probably have, but if you haven't, he's the marketer behind Boom by Cindy Joseph, which is a multi-million-dollar e-commerce store. And it's crazy because he shares everything that he does to get all these sales that he gets on that store. He shares them with a lot of details, and he's just an expert. Don't listen to all these gurus out there when you have someone like him sharing very transparently. Speaking of gurus, this is one that I actually followed and learned a lot from. Their name is Viram Ecom on YouTube. Check them out, and specifically this video taught me a lot on how to design the Shopify store and what to put where. And my final recommendation is Gabriel St-Germain, who's also on YouTube. Look him up. He has a lot of very, very good videos on Shopify. Now these two talk about Shopify dropshipping. Ignore the dropshipping part and just focus on the Shopify and the Facebook ads part, and that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I'll be posting a walkthrough Shopify tutorial for Amazon sellers. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up, just like SpongeBob here is doing, because this was not an easy video to make and I really wanted to share it with you guys. So if you enjoyed it, it would mean a lot to me if you told me that you enjoyed it by clicking the thumbs up, and leave a comment letting me know below. Now click here if you want to see the video of how I connected Shopify to Amazon, because you're going to need that before you watch my tutorial that's coming out soon. So click here to watch that, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.